The New York Islanders are dealing with issues at both ends of the ice. We'll break it all down for you. Plus, the latest illness that's affecting the lineup. We'll have the latest news, all that and more on today's Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Gil Martin, so glad you could be with us today and be part of the Locked On Islanders family. And thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. We have got plenty to discuss on today's show, but first, if there's something Islanders related on your mind, if you have a question, a comment, maybe a topic you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, feel free to email us at lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we discuss whatever it is that's on your mind. You can also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles, and you can follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYRVSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings, and I am live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game, so join me for some instant insight and analysis, and it's always great to interact with Islanders fans, game time or anytime. Going to start today with an update. Islanders making a move due to some illnesses. One illness in particular. Center Casey Cizikas out with a non-COVID illness. So the Islanders bringing up Otto Koivula from Bridgeport in order to have Koivula ready in case Casey Cizikas is unable to play tonight against the Ottawa Senators, a game we will preview a little bit later on in the show. The Islanders have loaned defenseman Samuel Bolduc to the Bridgeport Islanders in order to make room for Koivula on the roster. So Cizikas will know a little bit more as we get closer to game time, whether or not Zeke will be available. If he's not, you're talking about 2/3 of the original identity line being out for this game. In practice on Monday, Koivula was centering a fourth line along with Matt Martin and Hudson Fasching. So we shall see whether or not that is the way Lane Lambert goes with things coming up, but we'll see what happens. Now, Koivula has played with the Islanders before, played 12 games back in 2019, 2020, 8 games in 2020, 2021. He has 2 assists in those 20 games. With Bridgeport this year, 10 goals and 21 points in 42 games. As for Bolduc, he is headed back down. I can't say that I am thrilled with that. But again, with Bolduc, I think you're looking at next year being when he will become a full-time NHL player. He certainly did show some potential. And look, rookies, guys who are playing in their first 6, in the case of Bolduc, NHL games, they're going to have their good moments and their bad moments. So shouldn't be a shock that that is indeed the case. And hopefully Bolduc will be back. If not this year, then I think he has a spot on the roster next season if he continues to play well and develop. Meanwhile, we talked a lot yesterday on the show about defense. Well, right now, the defense is struggling In our second segment, we'll talk a little bit more about the struggles of the offense. But right now, according to Eric Hornick, who is the official statistician for MSG Network and for the Islanders are just 4-2-3 in their last 9 games that they have led after 2 periods. Okay, 4-2-3. That's not good, because you're talking about 4 wins and 5 losses when you're leading after 40 minutes. And, that is really not going to get it done. So over the course of the season, the Islanders, according to Hornick, lead the league with losing 9 points when leading after 40 minutes. And that's leaving points on the table. It just isn't what you expect from a team that's going to make the playoffs. So, again, the defensive breakdowns, definitely a concern. There are reasons for it, though, in addition to the slight change in strategy that we've seen from Lambert, allowing the defenseman to pinch a little bit more. But what we're not seeing is the forwards getting back the way they used to consistently. Adam Pelech still not back to his full self. He missed 7 weeks. It is going to take some time. So that has been an issue. Alexander Romanov. Let's face it, Romanov has been struggling as well, and he admitted as much. After the Vancouver game, Romanov said that game was terrible for me. I played really bad. Romanov did get an assist against Montreal, but not going to get it done. As for Bolduc, Lambert said he needed to move his feet a little bit more. He's so good on breakouts. He's got poise, but the two go hand in hand. If you're not moving your feet, it's harder to break the puck out. So that's what Lambert said about Bolduc in the Vancouver game. But the breakout continues to be an issue for the Islanders. So when you have Pelech not playing up to his potential, Romanov being inconsistent, Bolduc, Aho, Bolduc, a younger player, going to be inconsistent. Aho, traditionally inconsistent in his own zone. Mayfield has been turning the puck over a little bit more than usual in recent weeks. It all adds up to defensive breakdowns. And if you go back over the last 2 games, the game against Vancouver and the game against Montreal, I don't blame either loss on the goalies. And you had Sorokin playing against Vancouver. You had Varlamov playing against Montreal, but neither one of them played up to their usual standards in those games. I think the good news for Islanders fans, and it's maybe a small consolation, but I think it's an important one. While the Islanders continue to struggle right now, winning 4 in a row and then losing 2 winnable games against teams that they are expected to beat, none of the teams that they're battling for, the last few wildcard teams, I'll go Pittsburgh, I'll go Detroit, I'll go Washington, Buffalo, none of those teams are particularly hot right now either. Now, the bad news is, if you're the Islanders, you had an opportunity to gain some ground. And since the Islanders have played more games than the teams they're battling, they need to win those games in order to have a chance. But right now, nobody's running away with these last playoff spots. And that at least gives the Islanders hope that if they do right the ship and do get things back and going, they have a chance to overcome the deficit and squeak into the playoffs. But again, it's going to take better effort on the Islanders' part, not just the other teams struggling and continuing to struggle. And remember, those other teams are likely to make moves as well at the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens with that. We have got more to discuss on today's show. We're going to answer an email from one of you that breaks down some of the issues with the offense on the Islanders this year. We'll talk about that. We'll preview tonight's game against the Senators, all that and more coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The midway point of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download the FanDuel app, America's #1 sports book, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scorers to threes drained. And hey, Islander fans, go over to FanDuel, check out the odds for the Islanders tonight against the Sens. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So here is an email, Adam in Nanaimo, and I believe that's in British Columbia, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Good afternoon, Gil. Of course, I have listened to today's pod, and you've made some great points on the coaching. Now, I know you don't have time. I know you have time constraints, so you can't go over everything that is going on right now with our club, but I did notice a focus on defensive breakdowns and turnovers. What I would like to talk about is what happens once the Islanders gain the offensive zone. Gil, it's the same thing every time. Get the puck to the point and then get it toward the net. Early in the season, it worked well. I was so excited. Dobson would walk to the line in the middle of the ice and let it go. And then teams started to defend this, and now all the point shots come from the left or right point. So what do? Nothing. Nothing is changing. Gil, game after game, the same thing every time. Rarely do the Islanders get a good cycle going down low, and that helps to wear down the other team. What did we get Bo Horvat for if we're not going to grind it out down low while Bo mans the slot? That's all I have for you today, Gil. I'm on my way to the barber to shave my head because it just hurts too much pulling all my hair out during the game. Take care, and let's go Islanders. Adam in Nanaimo. So, Adam, thank you so much for the email. Let's talk a little bit about the Islanders' offense. It has been better since they got Bo Horvat, at least statistically. You go back over these games and, only 2 goals against Philadelphia, but 4, 6, and 3 goals. So 13 goals in the last 3 games, 4, 5, and 3. So 12 goals in the last 3 games, which is 4 goals scored per game on average. With the Islanders defense, you would think there would be a little bit more wins than going 1-1-1 in those 3 games. But I think, Adam, what you do point out well is a lack of originality or a lack of adjustment. And the thing about hockey, and really any sport, is that it is a bit of a chess match. And in hockey, traditionally, we talk about the chess match of matching lines. The home team gets the last change. You want to put out your best checking unit against the other team's best offensive unit. You want your number 1 defense pair. For the Islanders, that's usually Pelech and Pulock out there against Sidney Crosby when they're playing the Penguins, for example. Understandable. But there are other adjustments that good coaches and good teams make over the course of a game. If the Islanders are forechecking aggressively and the other team adjusts to it, you change it up. Maybe you hang back a little bit and make them adjust. If you are doing what you described the Islanders doing, Adam, as far as getting the puck to the point and then going from there. If the other team adjusts to that and pressures the point, maybe you do adjust and go into a cycle. Realistically, you have to mix it up. And we are not seeing as much originality. We are not seeing as much ability to change things up and adjust as what we are seeing, as what we'd like to see, rather, from the New York Islanders. So, look, Bo Horvat, 4 games, 3 goals, 4 points. Tough to argue with those numbers. You put that over 82 games, you're doing pretty darn well. But overall, you want to see some adjustments being made, both game to game and in game. And again, Lane Lambert is a rookie head coach, and I'm not advocating that he should be fired immediately, but these little adjustment type things are hopefully something he learns. And again, the fact that the Islanders, even with Bo Horvat, probably need more team speed and a little bit more offense. I really want to see the team speed because, Adam, you described grinding things out, cycling, going in the corner, and the Islanders used to be very proficient at that. I think that plays more to their strengths in a lot of ways when you've got guys like Zach Parise who can grind it out, and Anders Lee who could set up in front of the net, and J.G. Pageau. There are players out there who you really can cycle well with. And obviously, when they're healthy, the identity line, Hudson Fasching is good on the cycle. No doubt about that. Cizikas, Martin, Ross Johnston can cycle when he's in the game. There are times to make these adjustments, and I think we need to see Lane Lambert making more of them. The other aspect, we talked about the trouble breaking out of your own zone. That helps transition. And if you break out of your own zone cleanly and get the puck to guys who can skate, like Mathew Barzal, like J.G. Pageau, like Kyle Palmieri, Noah Dobson can certainly skate the puck up. You get those guys the puck, get some speed going. That opens up different options. You don't always have to dump and chase. You could skate the puck in and try to score on the rush. Or at least, again, if they're taking away the dump and chase, go to the rush once in a while. Mix it up. Keep defenses guessing. And that is the way that you rise up through the ranks. Look, right now, the New York Islanders, who have played 56 games, the most of any team in the Metropolitan Division, they're still 20th in the league in goals scored with 162. When you think that Pittsburgh has 4 games in hand on the Islanders, those numbers, all the teams in the division, Pittsburgh, Carolina have 4 games in hand. New Jersey has 4 games in hand. The Rangers have 3. All of these numbers, the 20th number will go down if the Islanders keep playing the way they do and everybody else just does what they normally do. And, the adjustment that Lane Lambert made, where you pinch a little bit more and take some chances, the goals against have gone down. The Islanders are 12th in the league in that category. Now, again, with the games in hand, that number should go up slightly. But we are used to, in the Barry Trotz era, seeing the Islanders at least in the top 5 or 6 in the league in goals against, and they were there earlier in this season. They have got to get the goals against back down, and hopefully we will see that happen as well. As for the power play, they're up to 27th. Remember, they were dead last about a week ago, so a little bit of hope. I think Bo Horvat has helped in that area, and hopefully the Islanders will continue to just find ways to play better. We have got more to discuss on today's show. We've got our full preview of tonight's game against Ottawa, plus our Islanders birthday of the day a popular goaltender from the early 2010s. Let's see if you can guess who that is. All that and more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product I literally use every day. I started taking AG1 because I wanted one supplement that would meet all of my nutritional needs. So what is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all these things. And it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. So now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day, and that's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Islanders and Senators tonight at the UBS Arena. And again, this game vital for the New York Islanders. The Senators playing on Monday night. So it is a back-to-back for the Senators. And right now, Ottawa has Mads Søgaard in goal, which means that we will probably not see him tonight. And a lot of injuries in goal. Cam Talbot now on IR. And the goalie we are likely to see, if Søgaard is playing tonight, or last night rather, is Kevin Mandolese. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But the goaltending situation, they are banged up with Cam Talbot hurt, Anton Forsberg not available. And, you know, they are hurting in goal right now, something the Islanders really do need to take advantage of. Goals for Ottawa, 22nd in the league, 17th in goals against, so they're stronger defensively than offensively. They had a 4-game winning streak before losing to Edmonton in their first post-All-Star game and bye contest, which was back on February 11th. And now, of course, playing Calgary. Brady Tkachuk leads the team with 52 points. Tim Stützle has 22 goals to lead the team, followed by Claude Giroux at 21, Brady Tkachuk at 20, Alex DeBrincat at 17, Drake Batherson 15. So there is offensive talent on this team. They are super dangerous on the power play. And the Islanders got to stop taking those stupid penalties that they've been taking far too often because they're chasing the puck and out of position, especially defensively. Sens power play second in the league, 26.9, almost 27% success rate. Their penalty kill is 12th, 80.6% success rate. So keep in mind that they are very dangerous with the extra attacker, and the Islanders are going to have to, stay out of the box and do well on the PK. Tim Stützle, Brady Tkachuk, and Matthew Joseph, the top line. Ridley Gregg, Alex DeBrincat, and Claude Giroux, a solid second unit. Shane Pinto centers Tyler Mott and Drake Batherson on the third grouping. And ex-Islander Derek Brassard centers Parker Kelly to his left, Austin Watson to his right on the fourth line. Defensively, Thomas Chabot, Nikita Zaitsev, they're the top pairing. Eric Brandstrom and Artem Zub are the second pairing, and Nick Holden and ex-Islander Travis Hamonic are the third pairing. Again, the goalies right now, Søgaard and Mandolese, with Cam Talbot on IR right now, and Anton Forsberg just listed as out. He's not on IR just yet, but overall, this is a Senators team that does not have their top two goalies. And both Forsberg and Talbot has started 25 games each. That is going to hurt them. And it's, again, a situation where the Islanders absolutely need to take advantage. Ottawa, I'll tell you, they're a young team overall. They are a improving team. And even though they are behind the Islanders in the standings, the Islanders cannot afford to take them lightly. But again, the goaltending situation, the fact that the Islanders are at home, and the fact that the Islanders have a couple of days off while Ottawa is playing second game of a back-to-back, all working in the Isles' favor. They've got to stay out of the box, clean things up defensively, and that would be the path to victory for this team. And let's hope they can put it all together. Meanwhile, time for our Islanders' birthday of the day. Monday was the 38th birthday of former Islanders goalie Al Montoya, Il Cubano, as he was nicknamed, a native of Chicago, Illinois, went to the University of Michigan for 3 years, was the Rangers' first overall pick, sixth overall, first round pick of the Rangers, sixth overall in 2004, but never played for the Rangers. Played 5 games for the then Phoenix Coyotes before joining the Islanders in the 2010-2011 season. And boy, did he play well that year. A 2.39 goals against average and a 921 save percentage. He went 9-5-5 for the Islanders that year. Stayed with the Islanders one more season, had a 3.11 goals against, an 893 save percentage, and then went on to play for Winnipeg, Florida, Montreal, and Edmonton. Spent one last year in the AHL with the Bakersfield Condors before hanging up his skates after the 2018-2019 season. To me, the most memorable game for Al Montoya was a 35-save shutout against the LA Kings. That one coming back on February 19th, 2011. So almost to the date, 12 years ago. That one, a home game at the Nassau Coliseum. So happy birthday, Al Montoya, a very popular player with his teammates and with the fans during his brief stay with the Islanders. He is our Islanders' birthday of the day. That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow with our key takeaways from the Islanders game against the Senators. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And of course, let's go Islanders.